I think we have a chance. I think with students like you and young people like you guys who are standing up, seeing it, you're not falling for it. I think you're going to inspire a lot. In the next 12 months, it's going to really, really be the time for people like you to shine because not only do we have to get the message out, like Brandon kept mentioning, we do have to teach our family and the ones around us. But Leigh, you're bang on. Media needs to get back to what it was. It used to be cynical of the government. It used to be a contentious relationship, and it's supposed to because just like science, when you have two opposing sides working on it, usually like in a debate, you will get the truth and you'll work out the issues. But if
Yeah.
you have one side that silences the other side and then dictates to them what reality is from their perspective, you're going to get nothing but people like us having to stand up. Me personally, I'm a nerd, right? So I wrote software for many years and I did the business things out in Toronto, and I'm kind of trying to semi-retire until all of this kicked off. So I'm an introvert. I'm a nerd. I don't do this. This is not who I am. But I know that my MP, I've met him, I've talked to him. Um, we need strength. We need stronger MPs in the next parliament. I'm not pushing for changing the entire government to independent MPs because I don't think that's a good system either. But I do think that the party system we have in Canada can work as long as we have independent oversight. So right now in Parliament, we have one independent who's not really an oversight. He's doing a great job representing his riding in Toronto, but you don't hear from him when it comes to national issues or anything like that. So what I think we need is people that want to work with the government and the parties, but hold them accountable and keep them to the rules. So just like a good old hockey game or basketball or whatever your sport is, if we don't have a good referee blowing the whistle, keeping everybody at least playing somewhat fair, it goes very uninteresting very quickly. It wouldn't even be something worth watching if we didn't have rules and kind of stuck by it. I believe our parliament needs that. We've been letting the government oversee itself for far too long, calling their own fouls, and they're not very good at calling their own fouls. Even with that, Trudeau has had some fouls called against him, and they've stuck. Even with his own government, he's had some fouls, and just not all of them, just not all the big ones. So I think some independent oversight is what I'm pushing for. We could use a few from each province, and we'll let the blues and the reds and the orange and the purples and the greens all fight it out. But at least they're playing by the same rules and they're representing everybody the same way. I'm also
Absolutely.
pushing for parliamentary change for the Speaker of the House. So I'm not sure if you know this, but the Speaker of the House is a political appointment. He's an MP and he comes from the Liberal Party. So the government in charge gets to pick the person that's supposed to facilitate the debate in the House. That should be a nonpartisan position. That should be a federal judge. That should be somebody who actually will enforce the rules of the parliament, encourage, facilitate debate, and actually get something done during debate. If we ever get back to parliament, because right now we're not even doing that right now in Canada for the next year. So the couple things I'm trying to push for would be independent oversight by MPs and change the speaker to be a nonpartisan position. It should be a judge who will sit there and facilitate debate. I don't think we need major reform. I think our constitution is pretty strong. We just need to get back to it. We haven't been using it for quite some time. Ever since Trudeau Senior gave it to us, we really haven't been using it. Um, I don't know if we want to get into the Trudeau Senior giving Trudeau Junior the blueprints in order to do this to us or what, but that's where we're at. We have a constitution. I think it's strong, and I think if we stick to it, we'll get her done. And Brandon, I was really impressed with the fact that you recognize that we still have a system in Canada where we could do due process and we can trust it. I still think we're there as well. I don't think we're anywhere near some of the other countries in history where not only did their government collapse, but their legal system collapse, their justice system collapses, and their military will then soon collapse, and that's when you get coups and you get some pretty violent situations. I don't think Canada is anywhere near there. I think we've got a lot of justice left in us, and I think our system is still solid. I think the next 12 months are going to be very critical for that. So we're going to see the decision on whether or not mandates were allowed to stop us from flying. So that decision is going to be coming out, because that's one of our constitutionally protected rights is mobility, and that was taken from us. I also think that this inquiry on the Emergencies Act is going to be a big one for us as well. So I'm keeping an eye on those two. September 19th, the hearings start.